Good evening, Yeshua Mevorach, Matava Adolam. Hashem's name will be blessed forever and ever. This class is sponsored by the Kazapsky family for Refuah Shelema, speedy recovery for Bracha Bas Israel Rachel, but Israel? No. Israela Rachel. Bracha Bat Israela Rachel. May Hashem give her, send her Refuah Shelema, speedy recovery. Amen. And she go home safely, Be'ezrat Hashem, and fully healthy. Tov. We've learned that it's very important to kindle Hanukkah lights in the shul, in the Bet Knesset, right? What's the reason? It's in order to advertise and publicize the mitzvah. Now, the question is, how much oil needs to be put in that menorah, in that Hanukkah? We know that at home we should have enough oil / wax, whatever material you use, to last for at least how long?
30 minutes.
30 minutes. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam shehakol nihya b'dvaro. Thanks for the drink. So, some poskim ruled that it is not necessary to fill the menorah in the synagogue with enough oil to last half an hour, as long as the light will last until the congregation finishes reciting Arvit. That is sufficient to accomplish the advertising of the mitzvah. It's enough. For which these lights were kindled. If the lights are still burning when the congregation finishing reciting Arvit and leaves, they need to extinguish these lights? No. It is technically permissible to extinguish the lights at that time, and it is not necessary to wait until they have been burning for half an hour. It is preferable, however, to refrain from extinguishing the light until they have been burning for half an hour after dusk. So just leave it by the window, and it will publicize itself for people that pass by. Where you place the menorah in the shul. At home we know it's either outside, right? Or by the door at home, or inside the house. In the shul, there is a specific place. Where is it? So the Halacha says that the menorah in the synagogue should be positioned on a table to the right of the synagogue ark, which means on the south side of the synagogue. Why? Why in the south? Who cares? Exactly. This corresponds to the menorah in the Beit HaMikdash in the temple, which was positioned on the south side of the Heichal. The Talmud teaches in Baba Batra that the table of the Lechem Aponim is the bread, okay, was positioned on the north side, and the menorah was positioned on the south side. This is how the Torah describes their positions in the tabernacle in the desert. Okay, so the rabbi knows where to put it, or the gabbai, and some synagogues putting it in a different position. Every synagogue should follow their customs. Okay? So, the question that I'm asking every year: how many we need in order to have a minyan? 10 is the minimum. So can we start davening if we have 9 people? We can, but with no kaddish, it's not considered a minyan. So what if we have 9 people and a woman join in the women's section? Can we have her part of the minyan?
No. Well, depends what kind of synagogue you go to.
I'm not the synagogue, correct. I heard there's some synagogue in Texas, here, not far away, that those who wear yarmulke and talis is the women, not the men. Yeah. Someone just told me last week they were invited to some sort of event, and they or serving seafood.
Oh gosh.
The synagogue.
In the
Huh?
synagogue?
In a synagogue. Yeah, I don't know if they call it synagogue. I don't want to give too many signs. So I don't want you to know that I'm talking about Temple Emmanuel. But that's the situation. Unfortunately. Okay, so this is the place when the rabbi there was asked if he believes in God, and he says it's a good question. It's a very complicated question. A rabbi replied with such an answer: if he believes in God. Oh my goodness. So back to my question. In which case we can have that woman join in Orthodox shul, ultra-Orthodox shul. We have 5 men and 5 women. Boom, it's a minyan. Now we can start blessing. Yeah. In regards to lighting the menorah. So you can have 9 women and 1 man. Doesn't matter. You have to have 10 people. Doesn't matter man or woman. Okay? So if you don't have 10 in the synagogue, so you light the menorah, but beracha should not be said. Okay? If there are less than 10 Jews in the synagogue, no one may recite the blessings over the kindling, since the concept of advertising and publicizing the miracle is possible only when 10 people are present. Question that I think I asked on Shabbat and now popped to my mind about what was it? Lighting the I asked on Shabbat who have the main mitzvah to light Shabbos candle? Women. The women. Who has the main achrayus, responsibility, to light Hanukkah candles? The man, head of the household. Okay. Why not let the woman do the Hanukkah as well? Or vice versa?
They can, right?
Yes, they can, but you see that the mitzvah always refers to the husband, the head of it. If he's not, so his wife can light for him. But it better will be that he will can light. You got the question?
Yeah.
It's a good one, right? Okay.
It was like a victory in battle, like a battle victory. The men fought.
Everybody participate in the mitzvah of Hanukkah. So I saw a beautiful answer. For some, it will be maybe a little bit hard to understand these days, but you should understand that not long ago, women didn't work outside. Okay, who used to go to work? The men, and bring parnasa livelihood. The women have to stay home, raising the kid. There's a lot of work had to be done at home. So today we used to see mothers works, and even today it's recommended, if it's possible, that the wife will stay home, because they have a better way to educate the kids than the men. It says, Al titosh torat imecha. He says, King Solomon says, don't abandon, don't neglect the teachings of your mother, the Torah of your mother. And the Targum there says, minimuse imach, meaning your mother will teach you manners. And you got here the idea. Okay, so who was the main person in the house? Still the main person. It's the mother. And the Talmud even says, Amarti li ishti beiti. He called his wife my home. Okay. So, okay, you are the main thing in the house. The mitzvah of lighting Shabbat Kelner for the house is on you. So who's going outside to bring the parnasa? The man, the livelihood. And when you light the candles of Hanukkah, outside. So the mitzvah falls on the man. I want to answer that. So who can join this special minyan that we just mentioned? By the way, you can use it as a riddle or dvar Torah. on Shabbat Hanukkah. You can ask the participant when men and women join a minyan in the Jewish Orthodox. I bet you 99% won't know what you're talking about. So, going back to what we said, who can join this minyan? Can I have, a child 4 years old, 5 years old, 6 years old to join the minyan? Is that be considering advertising the mitzvah?
You just need 10 people.
So 2 years old in the crib consider people?
No.
Whoa.
No, not like that.
Whoa!
She's tough.
No, yes.
You're not a man till you're a man. You go hunt.
A person, but like they're not like you. I feel like you have to at least like understand what is the purpose of what you're doing.
Oh, we're getting there. So, okay, so the Halacha says that even if there are less than 10 men in the synagogue, but there are some women, or if there are children who have reached the age of chinuch. So what's the minimum age required? 6 years old. 6 years old. In the synagogue, if they total at least 10 Jews, the menorah may be kindled and the blessings may be recited, as long as 10 Jews are present, male and female, adult or children. The concept of advertising and publicizing the miracle is accomplished. Now, I have 8 people, or 4, or whatever, under 10. But I know people just parking there are about to get in. I have to say, Bracha, it's getting late. And like, can I do that? The answer is yes. Because I know I'm going to have 10 people in a few seconds or few minutes. It doesn't have to be 10 minutes right now. 10 minutes, 10 people right now. Okay, but just have to make sure that these guys are joining the minyan. They're not just parking and going elsewhere. So if I know that 1 or 2 more joining, I have a minyan with that, I can already say the brachot because I know they're coming right away. Who should get the honor to kindle the Hanukkah, the menorah? So the common custom is that the rabbi of the congregation or the cantor kindles the Hanukkah lights in a synagogue. There are places where the custom is for the synagogue attendants, the shamish, to kindle them. What's the main jobs in the synagogue? Is the rabbi, is the gabbai, and they're the attendants, the shamash. Okay, some places the shamash is the gabbai. Okay, and the cantor, or the cantor. Okay. Can a child kindle the menorah at home or in the synagogue?
Can an adult be yotzi that? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. He can light for himself, there's no question. I don't care about that. I'm talking about the menorah that we're going to say the bracha. And everybody fulfill the mitzvah by kindling this menorah. Can I ask a child to light the menorah? So the halacha says, it's different between your own personal house domain to the synagogue. There are poskim who ruled that concerning kindling of Hanukkah lights at home, once a child has reached the age of chinuch, approximately the age of 6, he can be given the privilege of kindling Hanukkah lights on behalf of adults. Other poskim disagreed, ruling that it is not possible for a child under bar mitzvah age to perform any mitzvah on behalf of the adult. Same, you don't give him to do kiddush. You don't give him Hanukkah light. In practice, we should follow the more stringent opinion. After adult has kindled. So the mitzvah is to kindle at least one candle, right? So what about the head of the household will do the brachot, will kindle at least one of the, let's say the 4th night, 4 candles. There's 3 left. Can he now let his child kindle the rest of them? So the halacha says, after an adult has kindled the first light, he may allow small children to kindle the remaining lights. Regarding of kindling of Hanukkah lights in the synagogue, which is performed only in order to enhance the advertising and publicizing of the miracle, there is a basis to be lenient and give the privilege to a child. Even so, it is still preferable that an adult perform the kindling and give the mitzvah its proper recognition. If a child does kindle the lights in the synagogue, what happened? They need to relight it. However, the congregation has definitely fulfilled their obligation. Okay. There are some shuls that using the displaying electrical menorah. So definitely there is no blessing on this kind of menorah. Okay. Some congregations display a large electric menorah high on the roof of the synagogue building. It's not very common here. I didn't see it here in any shul. Maybe I'm wrong, but in Israel it's very common in many shuls. They may not recite any blessing when turning on this menorah, since the halacha is that one cannot fulfill the mitzvah of Hanukkah lights with an electric lamp. Therefore, the congregation should first recite the blessing over a regular menorah of oil lamps or candle inside the synagogue, and then turn on the electric menorah as well. Likewise, it just gives it a lot of publicity. People walk on the street, people drive, they see the big menorah, so they know and they remember they need to light candles and which day it is. Likewise, someone who has not kindled Hanukkah lights and has no one at home to kindle them on his behalf may not recite the blessing of Sha'asa Nisim La'avotenu or Shechianu upon sighting the electric menorah. It is possible to recite these blessings only when viewing the menorah, with which it is possible to fulfill the mitzvah of Hanukkah lights. Some synagogue has the custom to have menorah in the morning as well. I don't know if you're aware of that.
We do.
The shul doesn't. So it's definitely without beracha. Some congregations, especially those who pray shacharit very early in the morning, have the custom of kindling Hanukkah lights in the synagogue in the morning as well, but without reciting the blessing. The main purpose basically is to advertise it. Okay, let's skip that. What's the time of lighting the candles? There's a difference between main difference between Ashkenazi and Sephardi, right? So what's the main difference? Do you know what time is for Ashkenazim?
It's right after nightfall.
Nightfall,
Yeah.
right? The proper time for kindling Hanukkah lights begins at dusk, which is about 15 minutes after sunset, and continues until people no longer walking through the market. This is a quote from the Talmud, people walking on the market. So people can pass by and see the menorah, which is about half an hour after dusk. It is generally improper to kindle the lights any earlier or later. If someone will not be able to kindle his lights after dusk, but he will be able to kindle them beforehand, see footnote, we'll see it later, it is necessary to fill each lamp with enough oil to last until at least half an hour after dusk.
What would he say a bracha on that?
For some reason, some fail to kindle. Dusk. If, for some reason, someone failed to kindle the lights until later than this, he may still kindle them throughout the night until dawn and recite the blessing over them, although there are poskim who rule that one cannot fulfill the mitzvah later on at night. The established custom is to kindle the lights and recite the blessing no matter how late at night it is. If it is already after dawn, however, you should kindle the lights without reciting any of the blessing. Okay. After we have I think just one more class before Hanukkah next week. And then we have one in the middle of the Hanukkah.
So in Shabbos Hanukkah,
Okay.
okay, well, we're going to light the candle before Shabbos, so it's going to be before dusk. Before,
Only Shabbat is different. You have no other choice.
But you say
You say bracha regularly, and then you do Shabbos candle. So on Friday night, you try to do it as late as possible. You do Hanukkah, menorah, then Shabbat light. If you do Shabbat, you can do the Hanukkah. On Motzei Shabbos is the opposite. You do first Havdalah, and then you do Hanukkah light. The synagogue is different. You do Hanukkah, Motzei Shabbos, after Shabbat, okay, Saturday night. You do menorah first, and then Havdalah. Why in the synagogue they changing the order? If the halacha is to do Havdalah first, and then Hanukkah light, well, you see the synagogue, you see it here also. They do menorah first and then Havdalah. Basically, it's a technical reason. Because after Havdalah, usually people leave. Shabbat is over anyways, right? It's after Shabbat. So what they do, they light the menorah, and then make sure that it will be advertised and publicized, and then do Havdalah, so you have a few more minutes with the congregation. You need to there is a question if one can eat, drink, work before kindling the menorah. So let's simplify the situation and say the following. This year, I would say time to kindle the menorah will be 6 p.m. Okay, by the time you finish with the shul, with davening, you go home. It's going to be 5:50. Let's say 6 o'clock, so it will be easy to remember. Okay, good. Can I have a sandwich before? Can I eat before? Can I drink anything? Can I finish work that I just stopped? Or I have to freeze everything, do the menorah, and then attend to my own personal, needs. So the halacha is, it is forbidden to eat a meal in the evening of Hanukkah until one has fulfilled the mitzvah of kindling Hanukkah lights. What's the reason? What's the problem? Let me have a meal. People waiting for me.
Yeah, but you might go to sleep.
That's one. Another thing, people eating, some even a little bit drinking, and they're going to forget. So we want to make sure, menorah first. Okay, guys. Even if one has already recited Aravit before sunset after plug mincha, and it's still a daytime, once it is within half an hour of dusk, which is the proper time to kindling light. Okay, the detail, we got the idea. Now, eating little things, snacks, fruits, drinking, soda, tea, coffee, it's permitted, no problem. Okay? It's different when you sit down and you do hamotzi and the whole meal and seudah. People tend to forget. Okay? So a woman who lives alone, such as a widow or a divorce, is likewise forbidden to eat a meal starting from half an hour before dusk until she kindles her Hanukkah lights. A married woman, however, may be lenient and eat a meal before the lights are kindled, since she depends on her husband to perform the mitzvah on her behalf. And this question we have almost every year, because sometimes the husband stays a little bit in shul, there's a short shiur, and the kids want to eat, they wait for you, not to wait for you. So we should do it after Hanukkah. You can have your meal with the kids, the girl. When we come back, we do them in the lab. Same applies to starting or to be involved in some task or any type of labor. It's prohibited because we need to be focused on lighting the menorah. I'm going to skip all this. You got the idea here? Okay. Question. One missed kindling Hanukkah menorah light on Tuesday. Okay. There is something we called tashlumin. You heard this word before? To make it up for it. For example, someone didn't daven Arvit, and he realized that when he woke up in the morning that he actually didn't daven Ma'ariv. Can he compensate for it? So the Halacha says, yes or no? Yes, everybody agree? Okay. Davening meaning say the Shimon, the silent tefillah. So the Halacha says, basically, every tefillah, every prayer, every service you missed, you can compensate to the close one, the next one. That's it. If you miss that as well, you can no longer can do that. So you can compensate for Arvit in the morning, in Shachrit. If you miss Shachrit, you do Mincha. If you miss Mincha, you can do Arvit, so forth and so on. Fine? What about Hanukkah candles? He missed Tuesday night. It's Wednesday morning. He realized, ooh, I didn't light the candles yesterday. Can I compensate for it the next night? I'm going to have two menorahs. One with I missed, and the one for during the day there is no halacha to learn. The mitzvah is after sunset, or at least after dusk, when it's nightfall. So the halacha is, if someone was incapable of fulfilling the mitzvah of kindling Hanukkah lights on one of the nights of Hanukkah, he doesn't have any way to compensate for it on the next day. On the following evening, he should kindle Hanukkah lights corresponding to that number of days of the festival, just as all other Jews kindle on that night. You can compensate for it. Every day is a mitzvah by itself. Let's discuss a little bit about the oils and wicks. Which oils and wicks can be used for Hanukkah lights? I remember I asked you last time, or maybe the class before, if you can use
Lard.
Huh?
You said lard.
Lard.
Yes. You said if you
Oil from a pig.
if you have nothing else available at all ever, then I think that you can.
Okay. What about using candles that has images of other religion, like Mary, Jesus, Yeshua? What else out there?
No, because you can. No, you can buy this.
I always wonder, how do you know how he looks like? Everybody doesn't know.
Well, you
You go to
he's many different colors. This is it depends on your white.
you go.
I've seen him all
He
sorts of
just has
colors.
inspiration.
In the CVS store now they have a black Santa.
Right, so they have the black. One to look Asian, the other one look. I don't know. Everyone has their own. Anyway.
Red, short, fat, and bald. What are you gonna think then?
If I want to go to the store, they're selling it relatively cheap on the dollar store. A big candle that can last over 72 hours. And I want to use one that has the image of Mary, or can I use it? The Halacha says yes. You just remove the image. Remove it and you can use it. It's not Avodah Zarah per se, so you can use it. Remember, Avodah Zarah, other worshiping is when it was offered before the idol. But this is just made in the manufacturers, The purpose is making money. So, you can wrap it up. You can wrap it up. So, going back to the original questions, what kind of oils and wicks can be used on Hanukkah? It's the difference the big difference between Shabbat candles and Hanukkah candles. Shabbat, the Mishnah is very specific, what to use, what not to use. Hanukkah is different. All types of oil and all types of wicks are valid for use for Hanukkah lights. Even those oils that do not glide up the burning wicks. It's glide, right? Glide.
Yes.
G-L-I-D-E?
Yeah.
Yes,
Glide. You never heard this word before?
Glide?
Glide. G-L-I-D-E. Glide up. Glide up.
But I've never
Glide,
heard
glide
it.
is like...
Like skidding or something.
Okay.
I've never heard it.
Even those oils that do not glide up, the burning wick, and therefore do not produce a steady and clear light, may nevertheless be used. Okay? The preferred fuel to use is olive oil. Why olive oil? Which produces a clear, steady, and bright light. The Haye Adam and the Mishnah Berurah wrote that the preferred material to use for wicks is cotton. In places where oil is not readily available, the custom is to use wax candles since they produce a clear and steady light comparable to of the oil. Basically what they used in the Beit HaMikdash was oil. So to remind us that mitzvah. And nowadays we have different type of oil. Olive oil I'm talking about. Okay, olive oil that is mixed with different oils. Or olive oil that is, it's not liquidish. What do you call it? It's very solid.
Gel.
It's like gel form. So some poskim says yes, some says better not. But most of the poskim says it's okay to use it because as soon as you light it in a minute, it melted and it becomes oily. Okay, so they do it in a way that will be safe to ship it and whatever, and it lasts for longer. Some hold that it's not the best quality because this oil mixed with some chemicals, so therefore they're using regular oil. Is it not a waste to use olive oil? Maybe I can use the mixed one. So we know that for the sake of a mitzvah, it's never a waste. It's better to use the best. Remember we said another one, it's called, I messed it up. I said pumic oil. How you spell it? Pumice? Pumice, it's called pumice? Pumice oil?
It's like a light stuff.
No, it's made of the second round of the...
He's talking about oil, but I had never heard before.
So this is a lower quality than regular. It's called virgin oil, cold press. It's the highest level, and after that is the POMACH. I mentioned that I don't know how to even spell this word. But maybe be able, just write pumuch, whatever. We talked about it too.
Yes. I don't know what you were talking about. I'm going to have to
Find it on Google it and tell me how to spell it.
And I'm going to have to look at the shelf.
Rabbi, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
You were talking about if you miss say you miss mincha, whatever you say, Marv. So you just say a second Shimon Esrei, is that what you mean?
Yes. Pumak.
Pama. P-O-M-A-S-E. Pama.
So you just call it Pama?
It says olive Pama oil.
How you spell Pamas?
P-O-M-A-S-E.
It's
So you say Pama?
A-C, I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness.
P-O-M-A-C-E.
P-O-M-A-C.
Byproduct is solid Pama that is left over after virgin olive.
Leftover, I thought the second. They're all usually it's cheaper.
Second draw.
About missing a tefillah, the correct way to do it is you finish your obligation, you do the 3 steps, and immediately after 2 or 3 seconds you start the second one, having in mind that this is to compensate for what you missed. So the first prayer would be your obligation, the second will be what you miss. And I don't want to go there because there's some other halacha, what you're going to do on Shabbat, for example, Friday night. You miss a tefillah, but it's not the same what you miss.
Right.
Right? It's going to be different tefillah now. So you do whatever you do now. It's okay.
What about if you don't normally daven Marv?
So it depends. A woman, for example, that has accepted upon herself to do 1 tefillah a day, which they should. So normally they don't have to. Okay, but she can, and you can have in mind that this is called tefillat nedava. Nedava means, how to say it, volunteering. Always have in mind that the second tefillah is called Tfilat Nedava. Okay, so we learned all these. What if I prepare regular candles? It's already there, ready, beautiful candles. I was about to say, everybody, it's ready, we're going to say the bracha, and someone said, hey, I got oil. Should I clear the menorah and put oil? Or now it's already set, I need to use whatever I prepared. Because we know oil is higher quality. If someone prepared candles for his Hanukkah lights and inserted them into the menorah for this purpose, and then obtained oil, what he should do? He should remove the candles from the menorah and set up the light with the oil. The mitzvah was meant to be performed using oil light, since the original miracle occurred with oil lamp in the menorah of the Beit HaMikdash. Even if the oil that he obtained was a type other than olive oil, he should still remove the candles from his menorah and set it up with oil light, even if it's a vegetable oil. What if I mix? I do some oil and some candles. One should avoid kindling oil lights and candles in the same menorah at the same time. The light should be either all of oil or all candles. Nevertheless, when olive oil is very expensive, it is possible to use olive oil for the first night. So the first day, the first one you can do olive and the rest regular candles, which is the main obligation, one candle every night. And other oils for the extra light kindled to raise the mitzvah to the level of mehadrin min mehadrin, highest level. 2 more minutes. Okay, question? Someone asking? Okay, let me see here. Oh, what about using gas menorah? Menorah made out of gas. I'm going to have a nice flame. It's a gas. It'll burn for a long time.
As long as you got gas, it's going to burn.
So the halacha, likewise, one cannot fulfill the mitzvah of Hanukkah lights with gas flames, since there is no burning wick. Gas flames have the same halachic status as electric lamp. Question we get every year. Do I need to replace every night the wicks?
Yes.
Some of them can be used maybe for a longer time, or again, sometimes you see it's burned at the top and there is still part of the wick.
It's better to make it nice.
Yes.
Make a new one. What does it cost? A penny?
No, that's not the discussion. Obviously, it's not the penny. It's about a use for something you use for a mitzvah.
Right.
So this wicks that we cannot toss and put in the garbage has some sort of kedusha. Some would tell you, hey, I prefer to use that one we did a mitzvah versus a new one. You understand the sense behind it?
Okay.
So that's the question here. The halacha says,
I would think of a new one, so it's a pretty one. It's brand new, But at the same time, I understand that too.
Right. It is not necessary to use fresh wicks each night of Hanukkah. One may use the same wicks several times until they are used up. On the contrary, used wicks catch the flame better and more quickly than brand new wicks. Even so, some people have the custom of inserting fresh wicks each night, since fresh wicks were used every evening in the menorah in the Beit HaMikdash as well. So I think this is what most people do. Especially the one you buy today, they're very thin, they're almost burnt completely. But if you have leftover, just take a small plastic bag, like a sandwich bag or a small box, keep them inside So you can burn them all when you finish, or you can say that there is no kedusha in it in the beginning, so you can trash them. Otherwise, they get some sort of kedusha in them. And if you have to toss them, you have to do it in double wrap, like you do for challah. Challah, okay, you can burn it. Some don't like burning because the house is filled with smoke and bad smell. And what to do, it's permitted to be put in the trash, but have to be in double bags when you do challah, okay? Double bag, and then it can't be trash. You know what? Let's talk about the lard and using these wicks for Shabbos candle, for example. They use one for Hanukkah, can I use it for Shabbos? And all that, Bezrat Hashem, next week. Any questions? So next week, Bezrat Hashem, we're going to have same place, Bezrat Hashem, and same time. Yes?
I just want to show you, if everyone wants to see, have a picture. Last year in February, we were in, Karen and I were in Israel. We went to a museum in Jerusalem on Gaza, Gush Kasib. And there's a menorah there that had been taken when we left Gaza, gave it over to the Arab. And last Hanukkah was the first time in, what was it, 20 some odd years, it had been, the IDF took it into Gaza. Lit menorah, and I mean, it's not, it's electric, but they lit it up during Hanukkah. I bet they'll do it again this year.
Of course.
There's a picture of it in case you want to see it.
Send it on the group, please.
Nice.
Okay.
Send the group with a short explanation. You are night class. You are night on Tanakh. Send on the Tanakh group.
Okay.
We have a group. This year, Baruch Hashem, we have a great mitzvah to perform, Hanukkah lights, not in Israel only, in Lebanon, in Syria, in Gaza. Who would believe that last year? If I would tell you that, they'll tell me you're crazy. So we, Bezrat Hashem, this year will we see soldiers lighting Hanukkah lights, candles, menorah in Syria. Next is Iran. I think Jordan is also coming up soon. And I want to wish you Shavua Tov, much blessing. God bless you with the good health. And thank you for the Kazowski family for sponsoring this shiur. It will be for a blessing and a refuah shalema for the granddaughter. Shavua Tov.